for the people. Have it going to all of our socials. And with that being said, we are live. Welcome, everybody. What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Deadhead Podcast, the last episode of 2023, episode 39. And it's crazy to be here. I'm very happy to be here. And yeah, that's my intro. Thank you guys for all the support everywhere. If you're listening to this on YouTube, if you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on Twitch, if you're checking us out on Facebook fan page, or if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, don't forget about that. Thank you guys for checking out the channel, and we really appreciate you. With that being said, Jan, how's it going, buddy?
Oh, it's going great. I'm starting to feel the holiday cheer a little. We got two little Advent markets on the street. We got we have All I Want for Christmas Is You playing on every supermarket in the area. Some even have like covers, which sound really nice. Like I heard like a rock cover the other day.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of feeling it. It's crazy that we made it so far. Huh? I feel like 2023 still feels like a new year, right?
It does.
Another year that's just come to end, like about to end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's good. That's good, man. Well, I'm glad you're doing good. Yeah, I'm the same way, man. The fact that we've made it to episode 39 is crazy. I think a lot of people would have quit by now. It's not always easy, but I'm telling you, it's well worth it to be where we're at. I really like doing this. And my first cheers of the night to you, buddy. Thank you for helping me out with this.
You.
It's been.
Well, I have tea, but I'll accept it.
All right. Well, that's all right anyway. I appreciate the help on the show. I really do. I appreciate. I see how passionate you get about the things you play and the things you do, and I think that's what everybody loves about you, and what I love about you on the show here. So again, I know I tell you like every week or every 2 weeks we do this, but thank you, man. I'm telling you, this has been a super smooth and fun experience to have you on board, buddy. So thank you.
I'll never get tired of hearing it. I'll never get tired of thanking you for even letting me be here. So,
right. Yeah, everybody needs to hear it, man. It makes you want to keep going at it. And I wouldn't just say that if I thought you were shit. If you're a piece of shit, I would just be like, hey, man, you suck ass. Goodbye.
Yeah. And honestly, I wouldn't hold it against you. I would kind of get it. So,
yeah, no, I hear you. Everything else. So everything's been, this holiday season has been smooth. It has been stressed so far. That's good.
Well, I don't want to jinx it, but for the first time, in a long time, I kind of feel like I got most of the things under control, right? Most of the plans are going, pretty soothingly, if that's a word, and pretty happy where I am.
Good deal.
So yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Have you been stressed lately? Is that follow up with that?
Yeah. I was gonna. I mean, I'm not really stressed about it anymore. I've had time to let it stew, but I just found out so I think I told you around this time last year I got a new car. I got I got a 2020, year car. So it's fairly new.
Oh wow.
And I just found out no, not yesterday, but a few days ago that I had my turbo go out on it. Essentially this part is puts air into your motor, and a lot of these newer cars has that attachment to your motor. Anyway, long story
Sounds
short,
important.
Yeah, it's gonna cost me $2,000 to fix it.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Damn.
And I ordered the part, and the part's supposed to be in the shop, and I'm supposed to take the car over to the shop for them to fix it, and the whole thing is gonna be $2,000. So that's good.
Yeah, that's a kick in the balls. Damn.
Yeah. I think what hurts the most about it is it happens around this time of year, right? When you're feeling You're supposed to feel joyful and everything's good. And look, I'm gonna be honest with you. So, I know we got a lot of things we want to try to cover today, so I don't want to dwell on something too long. But I was already having a hard time getting into the holiday season this year, not because I'm really unhappy or sad or anything. I'm just not into it, man. I used to be like that kind of guy, let's put up Christmas lights, let's go look at lights down here. Let's put on Christmas music while we wrap presents and things like that. I'm just not into it this year. And right as I was starting to feel it, I was starting to get back into it. This happens. And it's now I kind of just I'm going to enjoy it because I did find out that I don't have to go to work at all during the holiday season. So
awesome.
I will have a little bit of a few days off there, like especially Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, day after Christmas. So that's good. But it just sucks, man, because right around the time of the year, $2,000. I mean, I think we've made the right adjustments where we can make this work. We can make it happen, but it's such a big bill around this time of year, and it really sucks, man. Just not happy about that. But it is what it is. But I don't bring that up to put you in any kind of weird mood or anything. Everything else is good. I couldn't be happier. We got a bunch of presents underneath the tree. I think what hurts the most, like you spend a lot of money on presents,
yeah,
and then now you're getting hit with this. So it's it's just life, man. Life is just fun sometimes.
Yeah,
but
just playing fun tricks on you.
Yeah, but we're doing okay. And the thing is, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to have especially, I mean, you've lived around here before. You got to have a car. I got to get to work. So it's one of those things like I have to pay this, but it just sucks because this is a newer car. And one of the reasons why I got the car was to prevent problems like this. And then the first year I have it, shit.
How did it even happen? Like, is that like common for it to just break down?
They just told me that so this is their exact words, and I thought it sounded shitty because I've heard a couple people say this. Anything man-made is not perfect. That's what they told me.
All right.
So I'm like, okay, well, that sounds kind of shitty, but whatever. But they just told me that it's just like it's just it's a faulty part, pretty much. It's just every once in a while these things just go out, just like anything on your car. So, but they did say it was kind of surprising that it happened so early, that this part kind of screwed up so early.
Car, yeah.
But anyway, but it is what it is. I was kind of irritated about it, but honestly, I'm pretty proud of myself, Jan, because I'm telling you, man, like I had a little bit of soul searching, I've had some conversations with some people closest to me. I have this thing where like I tend to get very, not like crying emotional, but I tend to get emotional about situations when sometimes it's best to not handle a situation emotionally and try to handle it more on a mental, more rational mental aspect, as opposed to acting on emotion. You know what I'm saying? And for a while there, I had to learn how to do that because, I mean, I'm 27, so I'm not the youngest, not my, early 20s anymore. But so as I'm trying to get older, I'm trying to be more rational. When things happen, I don't just scream, fuck, and just lose my mind. Instead, be like, well, all right, well, I'm going to have to adjust something. I'm going to have to pull money out of my savings. I'm going to have to swipe a credit card. I just that's where I'm at with it, but it still sucks though, man. Like I guess I won't go on vacation.
I mean, that feeling kind of never goes away, I don't think, right? I just learned to deal with it better. I mean, that's what they tell me.
Yeah. Right.
I wouldn't know.
No, well, right. Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to do better on not acting on full on emotion and trying to be rational about everything. Because it's, at the end of the day, if shit's gonna break, it's gonna fucking break, and there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah. I thought my PS5 was gonna break a couple weeks ago.
Why?
I was like, me and the wife, we were watching. So obviously, me and Jan, we're stuck in the old school. We still buy physical media. So I put a Blu-ray in my PS5. Me and the wife. I think
like
we're watching.
To watch a movie.
Yeah. We were watching the Hunger Games because I've only seen. I know you're probably gonna look at me funny. I've only seen the first Hunger Games. I have not watched any of the other ones. So we wanted to try to catch up to the new movie that's out. I can't remember what it's called, but
something
the wife.
Crazy.
The
snake and the bird.
Snake and the songbird or something. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I put the disc in and we're watching the movie, and all of a sudden I start hearing like it sounds like my disc drive is going crazy in my PS5. It almost sounds like a scratching noise. Like it was like scratching the shit. And so I'm like, what? So I paused the movie and I'm like, let me check this. Pull the disc out and there's no scratches on it on the top or the bottom. And I'm like, what the hell is that? So I put the disc back in. It's quiet. We boot the movie back up, and then it starts doing it again. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I just completely turned off my PS5, cut it back on. I haven't had issues since. So maybe it's just a hiccup or something. But I was like, oh man, come on, dude. Seriously, So $2,000. Now I need another PS5, like a disc. Because
Hey, this is time to get a Slim, dude.
You know what, man? I had thought about it to like unbox it on the channel, but I'm like, you know, if it did something else, like if it had like other capabilities, I would maybe do it. But it's like my PS5 works fine. I have a digital PS5 sitting right here for the office because I was going to try to stream a little bit, but that kind of fell through because I just don't have the time. I just don't have the time to do it. So, but I do have a digital PS5. But I mean, you know how we are. I like to get physical stuff. I buy a lot of things digitally, but I was like, man, don't tell me my disc PS5 is about to just explode.
Yeah.
So
I mean, unless like with this new models, you can like exchange a disk drive. So
I know, but did you hear that you got to be connected to the internet to do that?
Well, that kind of makes sense if you think about it, because otherwise it would just become like a, scrap central. From what I understood, they kind of have to do it. Like legally, it's not even like their problem. It's because if they don't do that, then people can just like make up their own disk drives or some shit like that.
I guess that's a good point. It's crazy that you got to be connected to the internet, though. I guess I think you got to register your drive or something.
That's what it's for, yeah. But I mean, it sucks. I agree that it sucks, but it's kind of understandable,
No, yeah.
Like a lot of people like to like put a lot of crap on Sony out of that, but I don't think it's their choice. I think it's just how these things work.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I don't think it's like that big of a deal, but I did find that a little like curious, like the fact you got to be connected to the internet for that. Like now, literally everything you do now, you have you had to do updates to play games. Now you have to put on it's so crazy. I don't know. The disk drive thing is so wacky to me. I think it's a cool thing. I like that you can take it off and put another one on, if it was busted. I do like that accessibility, but I don't know. It's so.
Even though
it looks kind of cheap to me, though. I'm not gonna lie. It looks a little like
the console. No, it's ugly. The console looks ugly. Is that not what you're talking about?
I'm just saying, like being able to take the disc drive out like that. Like it's kind of cool. Like I don't know if you seen it done like on YouTube or anything. Have you seen any videos of it done?
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. It's got like one one out input there, and you just put the disk drive right on it, and then you have to register it online. It's a pretty cool system, but I don't know. It just looks kind of cheap to me. But I like the look of the PS5 Slim though. I do like the outside. I like it. The only thing I don't like is the glossy side. I don't like glossy shit on my consoles. I can't stand that, dude. This black stripe on mine, I hate it. I can't stand it, dude. It gets dusty and it scratches all the shit. You can take care of your stuff. It doesn't matter what you do, and it still gets destroyed. As far as visually. I mean, I know like your PS5 is probably fine, but it looks like it just doesn't look as good. And maybe nobody else notices it. Maybe nobody else notices it. But me and you and other people who pay attention to that shit, we notice.
Yeah, no, we do. And it does bother me a lot. Like metal is like king when it comes to these materials. Yeah. Like remember the original PS3, like the fat one?
Oh my god,
that was all glossy. The scratches on that.
That was terrible. That was absolutely terrible.
And I kind of felt like they were going to the right direction because like the original PS4 standard, right? Had like a glossy part to it, but in a later model, like not the slim one, a later model, like a later variant of the same model doesn't have the glossy part. It's all the same material. That's the one I got, and I love it. So it's great to this day.
Right. Did you ever upgrade to a PS4 Pro?
The Pro, nah. I mean, I was a teenager when that came out, and who had the money for that,
Yeah.
And it was kind of a tough purchase anyhow because. Like I would see footage online of how certain games are supposedly enhanced on PS4 Pro, how they look. They don't look all that much better. So I really could not, excuse buying the same console I have twice, right? Yeah. Just because it's like an overclocked version of it.
Yeah, I hear you. I know, man. I was telling the wife the other day. I had bought one. I'll never forget it. I bought one right before God of War 2018 came out. So I was kind of on I was waiting last second. I was like, you know what? Let me pick one up. And I bought a brand new white one. Like me and my cousin, who I think I told you he passed away a few years ago, but me and my cousin, I bought a white one and he bought the black one. And the PS4 Pros. And I remember how excited we were. And it was literally the same machine that we already had. but it was just the fact of like, man, this looks so cool. And look, that white design, oh man, that thing was clean. It was clean.
The white one.
Yeah, the white PS4 Pro, dude. It was so beautiful. Honestly, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say it. I like it. I like the look better than the PS5. I'm not even gonna front to you. If the PS5 had the PS4 Pro look with the DualSense controller that we have now with the PS5, I would be fine with it. I just love the look of that. It looked cool. Anyway, make a long story short, I had to sell it.
Oh, because man, the white one is rare.
Yeah, I know. I have a black one now. I know it's kind of dark in here, but I got a black one off to the side now. I got that one used, and I'm sitting there like, man, a freaking like a white PS5. Anyway, I had to sell it because at the time money was super tight. I was trying to get us like a little bit of money for, that way we just got a little bit for groceries or whatever. And I had to sell it. And man, it's like I sometimes like feel a little tear pop up because I was like, man, that was a pristine.
You have like flashbacks of giving it away.
Well, see, like here's the thing, man, and you can probably relate with this. Like maybe not. I'm a psychopath when it comes to buying. When I buy new shit, I keep a lot of my boxes, packaging, and things like that. I have a whole closet full of like my PS5 box Series X. I had a Series S at one point, but I sold it to a guy at work. And like everything I've got, I have all the boxes too. And like I know that I try not to sell my shit. Like especially now, I feel like I'm doing okay now to the point where I don't feel like I need to sell my stuff. But if I ever did, I like to keep my stuff in like pristine condition. You know what I'm saying? And I knew when I let go of that PS4 Pro, I was like, dude, this guy, because I think I only sold it for like $250 or something like that.
Ooh,
because at the time PS5 was coming out like the next year, so it's not like I was going to be able to get a lot for it anyway. I think I like threw in like 2 games with it or something, and I'm thinking like this guy got an absolute steal because there's a lot of people who don't take care of their shit. They don't, they throw away their packaging, which that's fun. If you throw away your stuff, I don't care. Look, it takes a lot of space. I don't, that's just something I do. But it was in pristine condition. I cleaned the controllers. I mean, everything looked like it just came off the shelf, man. And then you see, I see the shit that you guys sell on like Facebook Marketplace. And when I say you guys, I'm talking about some of you guys that watch the show. Disgusting. How the fuck would you sell that? Why would you sell that and not clean it? What the fuck, man? I don't want.
I'd be embarrassed to show that.
Dude, embarrassing. It's gross, man. It's like shit all up in the cracks of the controller. The sticks are sticky. Like, what the fuck, man?
I used to watch, like sticky, if they're not completely destroyed. There's some people who just do something with the sticks. I don't like, and I'm gonna call out my brother on this one. Like my brother, shout out to my brother. I love him and all, but
yeah,
I don't know what he does to like stick to like the analog sticks. I have like this one controller that I think I lent it to him like once, right? Maybe for like a prolonged period, like a week. Well, brother, it came back and it was coming off. And then at first I thought, okay, you know what? It's my oldest controller. Like maybe it's not his fault, right? But then today, right? I mean, these days, when I come over to see him and I see what his controller looked like, it's always the same. The left analog stick, it's just completely devastated. It's been molested to death. It's terrible. It looks like a fucking, I don't know, like a crime site.
Yeah, dude. Like how do people's controllers get like that, man? Like, let me ask you this: like, you have a little bit more time, especially here lately, to play more than I do. I mean, like, how do your controllers look? Do they look like halfway decent? I mean, what we got here?
I think they look good. And I don't see any problem with them. They definitely don't have any like, what do you call it? Any like scratch marks or shit. I don't know what you have to do that because I have like somewhat long nails, right? And as you said, I play a lot, and I also play like some tougher games, right? Some games that maybe have you gripping the controller a lot and shit. And if you add all that, I guess you would imagine like the analog stick would look a bit rough, but it doesn't. So my question is, what the fuck are these people doing to their analog sticks? How does it happen? You just I mean, do like use it to wipe your ass or something? Like I don't even know.
That would not be comfortable at all. Like what the fuck? Right.
Like I'm running out of theories here. Either that or they just chew on them. It looks like that's what it looks like a dog chewing it.
Dude, that's why I don't have pets. That's why. Well, Dad and my current landlord, man, he's very stingy on any kind of pets, and it's my wife wants a dog so bad, and I'm like, I know, I guess nothing I can do. That's what the lease says. I've tried to talk to him, he doesn't want to, so we got to drop it. But yeah, no, but like, yeah, I don't understand. Like, I've always since I've been able, especially since I've been able to buy my own shit, I feel like I've always tried to take care of stuff. That's why I hate it when my shit gets damaged, because it's like, fuck, man. Like today, I'll give you a prime example. I went to go wash some dishes today. I cooked some breakfast. My sister was over and cooked some breakfast for everybody. I love cooking breakfast more, waffles, eggs, things like that. And I heard a loud bang hit the floor. I'm like, oh shit. Ooh. I go out there and my wife is reclined on the couch, and my limited edition Spider-Man controller had smacked the ground. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, no way. And I kind of like, I played it off. Like inside, I was like, voiding out. But I'm like, so I checked and I was like, okay, everything's good. I'm like, how the fuck does this happen? Like, it's fine. It's sitting on the coffee table. No issues. I can pick it up, play Final Fantasy 16 for 16 hours and no problems. The minute I lay the shit on the table, I'll walk away. The shit smacks the ground. Can you explain that to me? She's like, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. I just reclined my seat. I must have kicked it off the table. I'm like, oh, okay. Nice. Thank you. Thanks for just tearing up my shit. Appreciate it.
Bro. Some people just, have no respect for these kind of things.
But yeah, no. And another thing too, I actually found this, like, I want to say 2 weeks ago. I think I took a picture of it on the socials. I don't know if anybody else has seen it. I know Giannis probably saw it, but I bought I think it's like a year ago now, maybe a year and a half. I bought the Xbox Series 2 Elite controller. I have like 2 of them now, and one of them's a white controller. I have a white and then I have a black one. And my white controller, I hadn't touched this controller for like months because I've been on PS5 mostly. I've been playing all my games on there. That's really like my main console really right now. Anyway, I found out that my left stick on my Elite controller has stick drift. And I'm like, what the fuck happened there? Because it wasn't like that before. So I'm thinking a piece of dust or something got inside the stick. So I looked up a video. I got the parts I needed, took the face. Have you ever done a facelift on your controller? Oh, yeah. That shit sucks. So I had to take the face.
I feel like you're fucking on like a surgical operation, dude.
Right. And it's so damn difficult. And these controllers are so expensive. So I'm trying not to fuck it up. Take the faceplate off. I take the stick off. And I looked up a video on how to, dislodge the stick from its engaged state, take a can of air, spray it, and then put it back where you left it and put the faceplate back on and then play. Well, dude, after I did that, now both of my fucking sticks have stick drift. I don't know how it happened. So I don't even know, man. I don't even use it. So it's kind of like, whatever. These elite controllers are garbage.
And those are the elite ones? There's one you spend like $200 on?
No, so this controller was $120. It was $120. But so it's expensive, but it's not like crazy. The other one that I bought a Series 2 controller like 2 years ago, 2 or 3. No, actually, no, it's been because I've been living here for about like 3.5 years. At my other house, I bought a Series 2 controller, and this one is still working fine. I use this one on the PC, like if I'm ever playing in here in my office, and that one's fine. But I haven't had my white one, but for like a year, I barely play it. I go to boot it up, and I have stick drift. I'm like, man. So I don't know, man. I might send it off to somebody, or I just might just say F it and just cut my losses because I don't want to F it up even more. So I don't know. I'm just not good with this kind of thing. I'm still learning on how to take shit apart and fix it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, drift is a big problem. The worst part is that it kind of happens out of nowhere. Exactly. I have nightmares on when it's going to happen. When it's going to happen to my controllers, because it's going to happen sooner or later, right?
Yeah, and I have had it. And here's the thing: I have had it happen. So you know me, like I got like freaking 8 to 10 PS5 controllers. Yeah, got a little bit of a problem. I got a little bit of a problem. Anyway, 2 or 3 of those have stick drift, like 2 or 3 of them. And I try to be careful with my controllers, but I do have a couple that do have it. So I've put them off somewhere. I just like the look of them. So now they're just really just like a just decor now. I don't
for
even
decoration.
Really, yeah. But I still got my DualSense Edge controller that I've been using off and on here. But I'm so scared that one's gonna get stick drift. That controller was $200.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, you either use it, and you're scared of like ruining it, or you never use it. Like, the result is the same, so you might as well.
Yeah.
Break it by using it, right?
Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing I was worried about was I wasn't using it for a while, so I was like, I have to break it in a little bit. So as I've been playing, like, which I know we're going to get to, what we've been playing here in a minute, but as I've been going back and forth between Final Fantasy 16 and the new God of War DLC because I couldn't contain myself and I had to check it out. So I've been kind of going back and forth between the DualSense Edge and then just the regular DualSense, and just to kind of break even a little bit between both controllers. But anyway, let's stop talking about controllers and stick drift because I know it's a boring conversation. So I'm sorry about that. I just thought I'd bring that up. Don't know why my shit's fucking up. I don't know. But anyway, let's go right into that. Let me ask you this before we get into a lot of stuff we've been playing, things we want to play, all that good stuff. Have you tried the God of War Ragnarok DLC? Have you?
I'm sort of disappointed, but I still have not. But I have a good reason why, though. And the reason is, I made the, when you were talking about like finances and shit, about how like this is the kind of season where you buy a lot of presents, so you're kind of sinking into your funds a little bit. Well, I mean, I'm in a similar situation, right? And because of it, I made the financial choice of downgrading my PlayStation Plus subscription back to Essential. Because, it was due to renew like in the middle of the month. And I thought, man, like €150. I cannot permit myself to spend this now. So I downgraded it to Essential. That meant that I was losing all the catalog, right? So what I did, I played the shit out of the games on that catalog. I made sure to get like my penny's worth, and that obviously took away my time from playing God of War Ragnarok. I kind of had that priority, but I have been spoiled. I was like scrolling through social media and I saw something that happened. I won't tell you what it is.
Yeah, me too.
Like you meet a certain somebody, and it is insane. And I'm kind of upset. Like, on one hand, I'm upset that I saw it because, now it wouldn't surprise as much when I play it. But on the other hand, it made me all the more excited to play it because I had no clue. There was so much story content here. I thought we were just going to come up like with an excuse as to why Kratos is in this roguelike cycle or whatever, right? In this limbo. Something like, hey, Kratos, why don't you exercise? Right. In preparation for God of War 3 or some shit like that.
Yeah, right.
But no, there's a lot to it.
Yeah,
have you been enjoying it?
So I haven't played it in. Actually, I'm gonna be right down honest with you, man. I don't think I haven't played it since Wednesday. So I've had a few day hiatus. I've been working, and then everything with this car. I've been very, very busy. So I haven't really played a video game in quite a few days, actually. But I did play Ragnarok DLC for about 2.5 hours, 3 hours, something like that. And like I love it. I love it. Matter of fact, I am loving this section of the game more than the actual game right now because, like, for me, like, I was working my way through the God of War games as well, like for a while there, but then other stuff started coming out, so I just kind of put them down. But so I'm not as like versed into the God of War lore. I had to read a lot of my lore, like a lot of the stuff that I know about Kratos' journey from God of War 1 all the way to Ragnarok. A lot of that is from reading wiki pages. I'm not even gonna front to you. Damn. I've been reading a lot about what happened, what occurred at this time period, things like that. Now, if you ask me a question, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna be able to get that shit right because I'm not saying I know everything. This is not really my franchise to the point where I'm like studying every little bit of story. But
you did play all the main ones, right?
Well, yeah, like I know who the hell Helios is, and he shows up.
Right.
I'm sorry, I didn't know if that was a character you're talking about.
Come on, dude. No, that's not what I was talking about.
Oh my God. I don't know who you're talking about.
The Greek god?
Yeah, he shows
the one
up.
you chop his fucking head off in God of War 3, that one?
Yes, that one. Yeah, sorry.
Man. I mean,
I thought that's who Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought that's who you were talking about.
It's
My
all
bad,
good.
man.
No, do you want me to say who I was talking about?
I don't know who you're talking about. Yeah,
They were
go ahead.
even. They were even.
Go ahead and tell me. That's fine.
Well,
Go ahead.
well, there was this cutscene. Well, I mean, only if you want to. Like, I
Go
don't want to
ahead.
be
Yeah,
mean.
no, that's fine. No, that's
Okay,
fine.
so
What do you mean?
okay,
I
so,
just spoiled it. I just spoiled it. It's
well,
fine.
I'm trying to be the bigger man, dude.
Okay.
So,
All right.
pretty much. I mean, you don't meet him as much as you just see him. You see Kratos as the Greek god of war, like he's sitting on the throne and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
That's what I was referring. Yeah, that's what I was referring to.
Oh, okay. Well, damn. I thought there was a
Kratos
bigger.
look at him.
I thought there was a bigger
Oh,
reveal
no.
than that.
Did I set the expectation too high? I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, you did. You kind of got. I thought it was going to be like some crazy ass, or like maybe like Zeus got reincarnated or something, and he's like in Valhalla, and you're like, what the fuck?
Or even better, like you're looking for true artifacts, like in Valhalla, and at some point you hear like this sassy guy, something like, "Say, you look like a local. Do you know where I can find some kind of treasure?" You look back, and it's Nathan Drake.
Oh, yeah, that'd be sick. That'd be sick. A Kratos and Nathan Drake duo. I'm picking Nathan Drake.
Like
man. Nathan Drake kills more people, bro.
And this guy has cheated death countless times while being immortal. So yeah, my money's on him.
Yeah, but I
like have fought. Sorry for interrupting you, but actually they have met and fought canonically. PlayStation.
Oh yeah, and the PlayStation All Stars, yeah, and it's crazy because he actually, I think, doesn't he mention that in the main story of Ragnarok?
Like, yeah, he does, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Cool little Easter egg. I like that. But man, like I guess like for me, I don't know why I forget these things, but I not really forget, but because you step away for so long, the combat in these games, God of War 2018 and Ragnarok, are so good, man, and it did take me a little bit to get back into the swing because it's throwing me off so bad because I don't know if you remember the controls of God of War Ragnarok that recent, but dodging with X is throwing me the fuck off. Like how to dodge, it's throwing me off so because I'm playing Final Fantasy 16 right now too, and dodging with that is R1. So I've gotten so used to it, and R1's kind of weird, right? You usually think of circle. You think of circle.
Yeah, I think R1 is much weirder than X. I mean, X is kind of, it's not unorthodox, but it's not weird. R1 is fucking weird.
It is weird.
You attack with R1 at the very most. Like, you shoot through a grenade. Yeah. In the Souls games, you attack with that, but dodge. I remember that used to throw me off while I was playing FF16.
Right. Yeah, no, that I agree with you. That is weird, but I guess because I got so used to it that going back and hitting X to dodge is so weird. Like I don't you hit X, and this DLC really does for you is that I think we talked about this in the in our Ragnarok episode, which by the way, that's on the channel. You can check it out. Instead of hitting X twice to do a roll, just hit X once just to do a little sidestep. And man, that has saved me a bunch in this DLC. I've had a lot of fun with it. I'm not playing on the hardest difficulty. I'm really just trying to enjoy it. I might run back through and do it higher later, but right now I'm just trying to enjoy it. I like you say, I didn't realize there was so much story with this. And if they would have charged money for this, I would not have complained about it one bit.
Nobody would have.
With how much story this is. And the fact that it's free, man, goated studio. And it's also, and by the way, maybe I should watch what I say. There's some new gameplay tactics. Let me just say that also happened in the DLC that I think you'll like. There's new gameplay mechanics, and I'll just leave it at that. So,
all right. I'm excited.
And to bounce off of that, you will be able to use that if you replay the Ragnarok story. So, just letting you know right now,
awesome.
Dude, this game, like I said, it makes me want to go back and play it through again. I mean, I've been looking to do another playthrough, but with everything coming out, I mean, we're gonna, with our own backlogs, and then with games coming out in the first part of 2023, I don't know how we're gonna fit that in, but I'm definitely gonna see this one through. Maybe we can come back and talk more about it.
I can guarantee that
when you play through it. So, but yeah, a lot of Final Fantasy 16, mostly. I'm trying to work. I think I was telling Jan about this. I was telling you guys that I'm currently working on my Final Fantasy playthrough. I know I'm a little late to the table here, but after I beat Final Fantasy 16,
he means Final Fantasy difficulty.
Yeah, Final Fantasy difficulty. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. After I beat my first playthrough, I needed a break because it was such a long game, and I knew we were going to do an episode on it, so I need to finish it so we could do the episode. And so now I'm going back and playing it, and I'm gonna tell you, man, like I'm having a blast playing it. I really am. But man, dude, I must not have bought that many abilities or purchased that many abilities when on my first playthrough, because I feel like I have a ton of 5,000 ability point obtainable abilities I still need to get. Like when you're on your skill tree and it says like you need 5,000 ability points to purchase one skill. I have several of those I still have to buy. I'm like, dude, what the fuck did I buy on my first playthrough?
Well, I think it's just, I mean, I haven't played it in a while, but I do remember that that game does not give you enough XP points in one playthrough, one linear playthrough to upgrade everything.
Yeah.
Which is I kind of like it because it makes it more of a conscious choice, when you choose which ability upgrade. In most games, by the end of the campaign, you kind of have everything unlocked, so it really doesn't matter in what order you unlock them, right? I mean, unless you're doing like a speedrun or some shit. But what I mean, a casual playthrough, there's not much weight to that choice because you know that no matter what you choose, eventually you'll get everything else. Here, you got a little more tactful about it.
Yeah,
which I kind of like.
Yeah, and I like I'm not against like power leveling. I've always been an advocate for that, going around leveling up for a certain boss fight or whatever. Maybe not in the Elden Ring way, where it's like a lot, it's like super grindy, but always in the Final Fantasy Kingdom Hearts way, where like I would just go to this one area and just fight Heartless for like an hour until I can get enough. And so I've been doing that, and it's just, man. And also I have the little pendant. You can have little accessories. I've also put the one. I've also like equipped the one that gives me like 20% more ability points with every.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I've been doing that, and it's been giving me a decent bit, like an 80 to 100 AP points. But I mean, it's still, man.
Trust me, buddy. The actual grind in the final area is not going to be that long. It's quick and painless. Trust me.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Yeah, because what I'm doing is again, like I think I told Jan this. What I want to try to do is I want to do the Final Fantasy playthrough, at least get most of the way through it, do the 2 side quests for Jill and Joshua, get that done. And so that way I can play the DLC. I forgot what it's called. I can't remember.
Rising Tide is the other one.
Yeah. I don't remember the name of this one. I don't remember.
I'll look it up.
Okay. Yeah, I want to try to get this playthrough done so I could do that. And it's just, man, it's tough. I'm not even gonna lie. Let's see what we got. Leviathan, Echoes of the Fallen, right?
Echoes of the Fallen. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm trying. I heard that apparently you have to do the side quest for both Joshua and Jill to do it. I did it on my standard playthrough, so I want to make sure I do it on my Final Fantasy mode playthrough so I can go do that DLC. So because right now in this playthrough, I'm not doing any side quests. The only thing I want to do is I want to get that Ultima weapon. I do want to get that Ultima weapon. It's like 700 attack, 700 defense or something. Did you ever get that?
Yeah. I think I did. Yeah, I'm sure I did. I think you gotta get it to get all trophies. I'm fairly certain.
Is there? I don't think there's a trophy for that one.
No, are you for real? Well, you might be right. I mean, that was like what?
No, actually, you know what? No, it's not, because I think me and you talked about it, and we said, man, that seems like that would be a trophy, but it's not. But
really?
Don't you have to do the what's it called? The Blacksmith Blues side quest again to get that? Or do you just get it?
Right. No, I got it wrong. Yeah, you get a trophy for crafting Götterdämmerung or whatever, Götterdämmerung.
Yeah, right.
And the ultimate weapon is just the Götterdämmerung is one of the weapons you need. Götterdämmerung New Game Plus is one of the weapons you need for the ultimate weapon. Right. Yeah, right. I did not get that.
So, in order for you to do that, do you have to do the Blacksmith Blues?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta imagine, yeah.
Well, you said you got it, right? I mean, what'd you do?
No, I didn't get it. No. Scratch that. I did
Okay,
not
so
get
you
it.
know, okay,
I
so you never
confused
got it.
Gotterdammerung with the Ultima weapon.
Oh, okay.
No,
I got
I
you.
don't think I ever will. I mean, I might. Who knows? It depends on how tough the DLC is, right?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, though, man. Listen, I don't give a fuck what that Ultima Blade looks like. I'm playing with the Buster Sword right now, and it just makes the game even better. I will say, like seeing Clive with the Buster Sword is a nice.
Wait, Clive has a Buster Sword?
Dude, they just added that in the game. I thought I told you that. Yeah, they added that to the game. You can play.
No.
Yeah, man. They added Cloud's Buster Sword. The only thing is, it's trash. You can't upgrade it. It's like I think its attack is like 160. Like attack is 160, defense is like 160. So what I did is I'm using the Invictus +4. I think I'm using that sword right now, which is like the most powerful sword in the game right now. And well, besides where I'm at in the game, and then I got it to look like the Buster Sword, so it has the appearance of the Buster Sword, but has the stats of the Invictus +4 sword. And man, there is a pretty decent difference using that. I will say that.
Yeah, no,
enemies,
it's cool that you can have,
Enemies are still very spongy. And the Final Fantasy mode is not difficult, but I will say, man, sometimes I feel like I'm fighting the same boss for like 15 minutes. I'm not even gonna front. Sometimes some of these guys, yeah, man, and I'm trying to power level too. Like I'm trying to get to the point where maybe like I'm like fighting some guys, like I'm like a level 65 and I'm fighting enemies like level 60, and it still seems like it's taking forever. And I'm like, man, like, you know, that's when it feels really, really long. But I do like the game. I enjoy it. Honestly, I think the more I play it, the more I like it.
Oh, well, that's the sign of a good game, right? The more that you like, the more you play it, rather than the opposite.
But anyway, that's what I've been playing, and I've been having a blast. So I know you've been playing a game called Humanity, right?
Yes, I have.
I've been seeing you play that. You posted some gameplay. Why don't you tell us about that a little bit? Because I've never heard of it.
Yeah, sure thing. It came out like in May, and like was released day one on the catalog. I remember like back then, I was sort of interested in it. Then I saw a trailer. It looked kind of silly, and then I found out it was a puzzle game. And you know me, I have like a small brain, so I never go for puzzle games. I was like, it just makes my head hurt. But then like I saw, first off, the catalog, my subscription was running out. So I was just, playing a bunch of those, and I grew an interest in Humanity because like a YouTuber recommended it pretty much, right? And man, I was so surprised by this game. It was everything I did not imagine it was. It's a puzzle game, right? Mm-hmm. You are a dog, and you got to guide a herd of humans towards a goal, right? Mm-hmm. It's pretty simple. So you give out like normal directions, like go right, go left, jump, do a long jump, and of course it gets like way more complicated as you go, right? But that's the main idea. You have like a bunch of humans. Sometimes you're like an unending flock of them. Sometimes it's just a few of them, and you gotta get into a goal like through obstacles and shit like that. And I gotta say, it's engaging and it's very fun. But most of all, it's kind of it's an experience. There's this very esoteric atmosphere going on. You have chants in the background, or this very minimalistic soundtrack, made of bips and boops, while you're walking in some negative space, and seeing all those humans. Because like the number of humans, I don't know if you've seen you probably have like the footage I've uploaded, but there can be like a shit ton of them on the screen at once. And then what I've shown was one of the first levels, to give you an idea. And it just, it makes you. It kind of makes you go existential, right? Seeing, how. Sorry, guys, I'm a bit slow today. But anyhow, it just makes a great impact. It just made me go philosophical about, man, we're just like a herd, right? We as a people, we've always been very social. Like we, I don't know, something about community. Like I'm sure I could give like a much better speech. Right. But you sort of get the idea, right? Mm-hmm. It makes you, it's a lot more than it meets the eye. And you know what? The puzzles aren't that bad either. I only had to look up a walkthrough like twice or 3 times because the game is so good. It makes you wanna figure it out. And it's so fun that it's no problem figuring it out.
and the game actually has its own walkthrough built in. They probably knew you're gonna look it up on YouTube, but either way, so they just built it in the menu. But with the caveat that every time you look at a solution, he kind of marks it. So by the end of the game, you have like the stats of shame. It shows you how many times you look up a walkthrough. I just think it's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say, dude. That's all I gotta say without like spoiling it too much, because I feel like the most fun part was kind of figuring out all the various tools that you get later on. Which at first, can kind of take you back, like, oh man, like I was liking the gameplay loop so far. Why add something else? But then you start to figure it out. The frustration just vanishes, and you start enjoying it again.
Awesome.
So yeah, I highly recommend it. It's free on PS Plus, and it's you know what? Probably if I had played it before our episode where we discussed our favorite games of the year, this would have made it up there. Definitely.
Wow.
No, I guarantee it surprised me that much.
Right. No, that's interesting. No, I did see your gameplay. I ain't gonna lie, I looked at it and I was like, the fuck?
Exactly. Yeah.
No, but I get I see what the objective was. I'm like, all right, yeah, it just looks different. The thing about me is like, I've been watching, like, I watch a couple of different podcasts, a couple of different gaming centered podcasts. And obviously, with the content creation, I try to take it all in and see what everyone else is feeling about stuff. And I don't know, like, I actually was gonna make a video on this, and I figured I might bring it to this episode here because I feel like it's an interesting topic, because you telling me about that, and you, one thing I find is, like, even if I don't get something, when you explain it, something, especially something you've been playing, I'm like, you make it sound like, okay, that's something I want to check out. That's something I wouldn't mind playing. But what I wanted to bring to the topic here is that, so we know in GTA 6, one of the main characters is a female. Okay. She's a female, is Bonnie. Probably one of the main characters, right? You say Bonnie?
Yeah, because like people were like
Bonnie and Clyde.
It's not her name, yeah, but the Bonnie and Clyde mechanic was like Leaf or something.
Right. And so you're playing as a female in this game, and Jan, I can't believe I'm saying this, but there's people out there that still have an issue playing as a female in a video game. So, and look, I'm not coming to anybody like to listen. How I look at it is this: because I am a male, I probably would prefer to play as a guy. I probably would. I'm about immersion, right? I feel immersed if I'm playing as a male. However, I don't have an issue playing as a girl as long as she's a good character. And there's a lot of great female characters out there that I really like. And I feel like Lucia, because Rockstar does such a good job with their protagonists, I'm sure she'll be a fantastic character. So anyway, the really topic of conversation is, when you're playing a video game, and I think I know your answer to this, but just to get more of your thoughts on it, like, what you play as in a video game, whether it's a person, whether it's an animal, whether it's an inanimate object, you're pretty open about whatever you play as. You don't really care about who the player controlled character is, as long as the game is fun and enriching to you. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
right.
Yeah, I don't need to games are about immersion, but I don't get immersed by them through the character, which is cool that you do that. But what I mean is that no matter who the character I'm controlling is, it's always very clear to me that I'm just like the puppet master of this little show, right? Well, I do get impressed by the story though. So if anything, I'm even more drawn in if the character is someone. It's a bit unconventional, right? It's something we've never seen before. And it's not to say that like female characters are not something particularly original. But yeah, as you're saying, like having this different perspective in humanity, the game I was playing, like you do play as a dog, but it's kind of implied that it's a dog that used to be human once, because the narration begins as, one day I woke up and I was a dog, which, by the way, great writing on one end. And, on the other,
that's beautiful. Yeah.
Right. I mean, poetic almost. And so yeah, what you said, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't care about the shape as long as it's I mean, game wise, like a fun character, like to first off to look at. It's got to look cool, right? Yeah, or at least like be aesthetically pleasing to a point, or at least service the game in some way, right? And second off, like it's gotta, if it's a narrative-based game, yeah, it's gotta be a good character, nice and good. And I'm sure Rockstar. I mean, I wouldn't know because I haven't played many of their games, but I have heard that usually the GTA main characters get a lot of they got there's a lot of effort in fleshing them out.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. They're usually not just now, with the exception of the GTA 5 characters, because you play as 3 in that game. I know you haven't played it yet, but Michael, Trevor, and Franklin, they're kind of caricatures of each type of GTA player. I think Trevor is the maniac, Michael is the calm, cool, and collected character, and then Franklin is the young guy who's just trying to figure out his place in the world. And I think it's a really unique perspective. And that's one reason why, like, I just went back and that's one of the games that I have been playing. I went back and I beat GTA 4. And then I was like halfway through GTA 5 on PS5. And I was like, okay, well, I'm in this GTA mood. Let me go ahead. I'll go ahead and beat that too. So, but I bring the conversation up because I was going to make a video on it, but I wasn't sure how to approach it because it's like, I feel like if I just gave my thoughts on it, the video would be done in like 3 minutes. And at that point, I might as well just do a TikTok or like, we talked about like a short on Twitter or whatever. But I just think it's absolutely ridiculous. We're at a point where it's like, listen, as long as the character is cool, I don't care. But here's the thing. Here's the caveat with that, though. Like, I do have some restrictions here. And whether you agree with it or not, it's completely okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, Deadhead Podcast, we're open to differences over here. I am fully acceptable to a female character. However, if she's throwing dudes around like it's nobody's business, like she's like a smaller, petite, like Ellie, right? If I'm playing as an Ellie type character and I'm throwing guys that are like my size or bigger, like around like it's nothing, unless she's got superpowers, that's when it kind of takes me out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like Abby, it's kind of believable. Like if you want to talk about the last for a second, even though Abby, she's a girl, look how like she's a freaking horse, man. Like I feel like she could freaking run through a wall. It's like, okay, that's a little bit more believable. That's why I love The Last of Us Part 2 for this reason, is that they make Abby more like in your face, rush you down, hulking person. And then Ellie, because she's so small and petite, she kind of has to finesse a little bit more. She can't just come around. And I do like that. I will say, man, it's great attention. And I'm not saying there's not strong females out there. You could be strong and not throw a 300-pound guy over a fence post. I'm just saying, like, I do like it within reason. Like, one of the examples I use is like, have you ever seen The Terminator?
Yeah.
Do you know a character named Sarah Connor?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Right? In the newer movie, I think it's called Terminator. Is it Terminator Genesis? I don't know, but the newest one that came out.
Wrong person, but yeah.
Movie's trash, but Sarah Connor in that, it's just ridiculous. She's like really bravado, and she's like, you ever seen a movie where you'll see a character walking away from an explosion and it's like slow-mo?
Yeah, like Power Rangers.
She does a lot of those scenes, and she's old.
Oh, she's like walking. She's like walking away from it. Like cool guys don't look at explosions.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's walking away from it. Yeah, and she throws a grenade, and she just like she's old, man. Like she's old. I just don't buy it. That's like the only time it like takes me out. Other than that, I don't have an issue with it, man. I think as long as I have a connection with these characters, like I'll give you a prime example. I haven't played through the whole game, but I know you don't really get to do a whole lot of stuff with her. But like in Life is Strange 3, now I'm only halfway through it, but the character of Alex, I feel like I can kind of connect with some of the things that she's going through in the game as far as her intensified emotions. I can understand that, like being like overwhelmingly so mad about a situation, and like you get to the point. I was just telling you about this, Jan. I was just telling you about how I'm trying not to do things out of emotion. I'm trying to do things more logistical, do things more rational, not lose my shit. Look at her situation and I think her powers are a little in that game, let's be honest. but I did like that the whole, whatever she's feeling, it's like overwhelming. And I kind of could get on with that. And I understood like with the death of her brother and all that stuff. Even though I wasn't able to finish it again, I am planning to go back to it. I just got busy, but that's something I can get along with. Another example is Lara Croft in the new Tomb Raider trilogy. I love Lara Croft as a character, and I love this version of Lara Croft as a character. Like, there's people shitting on this version of Lara Croft. Why? Because her tits and ass ain't out? Is that why?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I think she looks pretty damn good. If I'm being honest with you, I think she looks beautiful. She doesn't need to have her tits and ass out to look attractive, and she's still badass. I like it. I like her story in those games, even though it's kind of shallow. It doesn't go super deep. Yeah. I do like her character, though. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? You get my example here. You know?
I do like what they did with the character. It's like she's more, she's less stoic, right? She shows that like everything that's happening around her is getting to her. But she's pushing through. I did like that part about those games too. I agree.
Especially that first game where she's just surviving, dude. I had such a fun time with that game.
I did. Although in that game, it is kind of funny that after she kills the dude for the first time, which is kind of it's very traumatizing for her. After that, she just becomes like a killing machine.
Yeah. She's like, stop! I don't want to do this. Headshot.
Yeah. You need to get the machine gun, and then you go to town. Man, they just start painting the town red. You're talking about killers. I think that like her body count is way higher than Nathan Drake's.
Really? I don't know. It's close. It's close. So, it's close. Yeah. It's very, very close. It's like skin and teeth. But yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, it is. But I mean, does any of that make sense? I mean, like I said, I don't know if I was sounding too ignorant there. My main thing is I like it when a female is more realistically tough. Like, there's a lot of great, powerful female leaders out there. I love like, what I mean? But I don't want like I just don't want to play as a girl and she's like just throwing 300-pound, 400-pound dudes around. I just find that unrealistic.
Dude, what you're saying makes a lot of sense, actually. That's it's a whole issue that's being discussed. Okay, I'm sorry if I got you out.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Like a lot of my friends, right? Like girlfriends, they talk about this, and it's also like discussed in studying circles as well. It's the stereotype of like the woman. We have like a woman as the main character, but it's a woman built like a man, right? Which is not really like it's pretty much all the stereotypes usually like male action movies or stories have just apply to a woman, right? She's like, I don't know, puffing on a cigar. She has the eyeglasses on, the sunglasses, and as Sarah Connors, as you said it, just chucks a fucking grenade behind her head and watching on explosion. Like, right? You get it? At that point, if you strip down so much of her femininity away, then what's the point, right? I mean, it's not a problem, of course. It's not like a woman has to, just because you choose to have a female character doesn't mean she has to express her femininity particularly. But this example was pretty much just, men with a woman coat of paint, right?
Right.
We like, with like the sex appeal of a woman, pretty much. Well, what you're saying is like way more sensible, right? So have her, be strong and everything, but without taking away from her femininity, right? Well, still, she's not strong in a way a man is strong, right? She has different strengths, and it makes it feel like a different character, like as if her gender actually matters. So yeah, no, what you said isn't ignorant at all. I'd say I concur.
Right.
Say let it be in the record. I concur.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's sometimes when you say things, you kind of have to. You feel like you got to dance around because you know how things are. But it's like all I'm that's pretty much all I'm saying. If there's a female character, I love a good female lead as long as she's believable. As long as she's a believable lead, I'm fine with it. And I think with a lot of these studios, I think some of them do get it right. I mean, like I said, I love Lara Croft, and then I like
Saran. That's an oldie, but.
No. She's great. I know you haven't played it yet, but in Red Dead 2, she's not a main character. Like, you don't play as her. I wish you could, like a DLC, but her name is Sadie Adler. I like her story. You know, she's from she's got an abusive husband. She was kind of being kept away. She got kidnapped by this other rival gang. You go save her. She's kind of like a damsel in distress. And then halfway through the game, she's kind of like, she's got your back, you know? And it's like, and it's really good progression. It's not like it's just, you know, you just give her a gun and, you know, and a cowboy hat. She's out there just shooting with you, but it just gives you, but it's a little bit more progression. Now you get to know Sadie, you get to know where she comes from and her values and stuff. They can be written beautifully and they can be tough as hell. But what I don't like is, like you say, I think when you're really trying to push that, like, okay, in order for a woman to be a powerful lead, she's got to be like freaking, you know, massive as hell and you know, punching dudes that are 400 pounds or 3 times her weight. That's my
but
it
still give her like huge tits, right? Because that's what sells.
I'm more about the ass, man.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm glad we had that discussion.
Let's be honest. I mean, right? Like, who gives a crap about that?
I mean, I cannot agree with you. I've always been
really,
you know,
really?
more of a boob man myself. Yeah. But
may I ask? I mean, look. Without, we don't have to go too far into it, but may I ask why?
Yeah. Why? Well, I mean,
like, what really?
I don't think there's logic. You can really apply logic to it, right? It's just that okay. So how would you answer the opposite question? Like, what do you gravitate towards the ass? What's the right? I mean,
well, I guess like, to me, like, all right, so like in my, you know, and even like when I first met my wife, and when we were freshmen in high school. But like one of the first, after we had, you know, we were together for a little while, and then, you know, I think 7 years went by, and then we had our first date. One of the first things I always had looked at, always look at the face. They have to be attractive.
Right.
They have to be. Like, look, I don't care what anybody says. I'm not saying that physical appearance is everything. That's not what I'm saying at all. However, that is the first thing that you see. So that's the first thing I'm going to look at. The next thing is she passes by. I you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I gotta, you know what I mean? I gotta take a gander at the
I thought I was the corny one.
Oh, no, I'm not saying I do that now. I'm just saying, like, that's how I was.
Right. I get it. Yeah, that was your, like,
I have
MO,
to respect
right?
it.
Yeah.
I have to respect it. I have to.
If you have like a hat on, you go like, you know, hats off.
Yeah, boobs have just never really been a thing for me. Like, it's like, okay, so they're okay, like they're nice, like, but I've never liked like freaking watermelons, and I don't like, you know, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've just never really cared. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter.
It makes sense. It makes sense what you say, like, makes sense to me. It's just that to me, it's like kind of the exact opposite. Like, you know, if I can appreciate a nice looking butt, definitely, but it's not like I'm not gonna go crazy about it, right? I'm not gonna go like, yeah. And with the boobs, it just, you know, it just hits, right? It's just a passion. It's not about the size. It's just, it's you know, it's a shape. It's like it's a sculpture. It's a form of art.
And an ass isn't?
Well, it can be. No, sure is. It's just that it's not one that I appreciate. It's like, you know, like liking rock more than metal. It's I mean the musical genres.
I got
because it wasn't clear.
I got it.
And after he said it, I realized it wasn't too clear.
It wasn't crystal clear, but I got it. I understood what you were saying. Yeah, no, I mean, like, you know, that's honestly, you know what, man? You got a good point. Oh shit! I just smacked my microphone on my lips. You got a good point. Because honestly, I couldn't tell you why I prefer the. I guess I don't know. I've just had a preference. That's always been my preference. You know, and
I'm sure there are some studies, right? There's some studies showing that, like, you know, attraction, men who are more attracted toward asses are like, it's because, like, you know, some kind of primal instinct. Like one day there were like a bunch of men who were like saved because, like, there was like a ravine, right? Was going down, and a bunch of people with their huge asses kind of stopped the boulders. So to this day, we have this instinct to reproduce with people who have like a huge ass, because, like, deep down, I don't know, I'm just
I was letting you.
Ass,
I was letting you cook, man. I was actually vibing with it. I was like,
I mean,
that might be actually pretty accurate.
Those are kind of the stories that I hear when people do those things. Like, oh yeah, so the reason why men like curves of this specific shape is because, and then like he throws like the craziest story ever, right? Usually back in the day, Homo sapiens used to thrive on fucking, I don't know, bouncing on each other's asses. So in order to pick up the highest fruit. So
Oh man, this is my favorite topic of the episode today.
Yeah.
No, and see that's the thing. That's the second time you've then made that comment. Like, oh man, I'm supposed to be the horny one, Dylan. You're not supposed to be the horny one. I'm just saying.
I'm live though. First time live.
Live, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he did say it 2 other times, but yeah, no, I mean, like, I'm definitely not trying to sound that way. I'm just, you asked, and I'm just telling you. I'm telling you, like,
no, it's fair. I was just messing with you.
Like my wife knows about it. We had this conversation before. She was like, so you've always been an ass man, because that's something I've always, been prideful of with my wife. I'm very proud of my wife, and so. Like, she's like, so you just always been an ass man? I'm like, yeah. as long as I can remember, man. I mean, like, I don't know. There's no science to it. It just is. Like you said, honestly, I'm gonna believe your little bullshit hunter and gatherer story, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe that hunter gatherer story that you came up with might be what happened. So I'll go with that. As long as I can keep that from you, can I use that as the why I am the way I am? Use that hunter-gatherer story?
Yeah, no, sure. I mean, I wouldn't hold it against you. Like, you don't need a reason to be where you are, but sure.
Well, just in case they ever anyone else asked for a reason why I prefer the buttocks over the boobies.
I kind of feel like you're in the majority, though, right? At least of what I see on the internet.
Here lately, Jan, the thing about it is, that wasn't a thing. Like, I've always been that way. I've always found that to be attractive about whatever female I'm looking at. Now, it's like it is. It's the mainstream thing. And like, I mean, look at the GTA 6 trailer, right? You said it in the iMessage. You were like, man, look at it. I forgot what I said. I said, man, yeah, it looks awesome. He's like, yeah, all those asses, something like that. No. You said something like.
No, I said, you said. They're finally giving, it is exactly what the gamers are hoping, or some shit like that. So I said, yeah, right. Speaking, what the thing they were hoping for.
No, you said the asses.
I would admit it. Hold
on, I'm gonna go back and find it, because now I'm pretty sure you said the asses, but I could be wrong.
I might have said
it. When did we have this conversation? Because it's been
just look up ass. That's what I did.
Just look up ass.
Okay, no, the last time, I'm sorry, dude, but like the last, oh no, wait, I'm looking at this wrong. No, it's right. The last time ass was ever like pronounced in our DMs is on November 1st. And it was like, dude, I sent you the Spider-Man meme, right? Where like Peter says to like Mike, he said,
that's ass, bro. Yeah, that's ass, bro. Yeah. Yeah,
maybe butt. How about butt?
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, for those Vice City butts. That's what you said.
Vice City butts.
Yeah, I said, dude, GTA 6 trailer. I can't wait to fanboy about it on the show. This, my friend, is why I play games. And I put the emojis, and then you put for those Vice City butts. That's what you said. So you didn't say ass, but you said butts.
Yeah, I said butts. Yeah.
I knew you said something along those lines. Yeah. I mean, look at all the butts in that. Look at all the asses in that. I mean,
but did you know there's like a video floating around the internet of like the voice actor for one of the GTA 5 main characters? I think it's the older white guy, Franklin.
Yeah, Ned Luke. Ned Luke.
Yeah, and like they like people asked him like, what does he think about the trailer? And he says, "Have you seen it?"
Yeah, he said, "Yeah, it looks good." A lot of. I'm surprised by how all the fat asses there were.
Because and then he went on like he had logic behind it. Yeah, if you go to Vice City, where the hell that is, is set. Like Miami. The ass game, it's not that Miami. The ass game, like it's not that high there. It's not that.
He did go into a little bit
something
of
like that.
Yeah, he did. He's like, I think there should be more variety. I mean, it shouldn't just be fat asses everywhere. which he's got. I mean, he's got a point. I've only been to Miami like once, and I wasn't able to like to go out on the beach or anything. That's in Florida, like right, like
it's like the one thing you do in Miami, right? Is Miami just one huge beach?
A lot of it is, yeah. Especially that especially where the game is based. The game is based in Vice City, which essentially is Miami Vice, which is essentially the same thing. So, but yeah, I'm it's a lot of ass in that. But I'm excited for it, man. I really hope you can get into these GTA games, man. I would love to cover it on the show.
Definitely start with those shitty remasters. You gotta start somewhere.
I don't think they're as bad as what people make them out to be. I mean, I've played all 3 of those games growing up, and I'm gonna be honest with you, like besides some musical changes, like yes, there's some music taken out of it, because they lost the licensing throughout the years for like the radio stations and stuff. Yeah, that's trash. But other than that, though, these games look immaculate. These games look great. Like on.
I think console. The problem was the stability. I think like maybe like on day one, you used to be like very
the performance. You mean? Yeah. Well, that's weird because when I got my copy like the 2 days after it first released, and I started with GTA San Andreas, which is the 3rd game in that trilogy, and I thought it played pretty well, but I haven't touched it in a while. But like I said, I just bought all 3 of them on PS5 because that's my preferred platform that I want to play on anyway. So it's like I would love to go back through those games again. Red Dead Redemption 1, there's a 60 FPS patch for that, so I want to get back into that at some point. Man, I'm still got my fingers crossed for RDR 2, Red Dead Redemption 2. That's got to get 60 FPS patch.
Yeah, they got to do it.
We've seen that can happen. Now, I think we talked about this on episode, but someone had hacked a PS5 to get Red Dead Redemption 2 to play 60 FPS. So it can work. So come on, Rockstar.
Yeah, of course it can.
Let's get it. Let's get that patch out. Just clean up the visuals slightly because it is a little. Have you noticed like on like you just played Mirror's Edge, so I'm kind of surprised what you say here, but like interested what you say. But like, have you noticed on like some of these PS4 games, they kind of have like a fuzzy look to them, like maybe not like the fidelity doesn't look as nice as you would like it, but it kind of has like it might still look good, but it has like a very like maybe out of focus look to it. Does it make sense?
No, I heard that the PS5 does do it to a lot of PS4 games. I haven't noticed it myself, but I have heard that it's an issue.
Yeah. Well, some of the games that have not been like like if you play Days Gone on PS5, that game looks crystal clear. You're good there. God of War 2018. I wish they would release a PS5 version of that game. I'll buy it in a second. But that game looks good on PS5. But if you play like Red Dead 2, that game it still looks immaculate, but it kind of has like out of focus look sometimes.
It's like on the edges. Like, is it because of the upscaling? You think?
Yeah, on the edges. Yeah, on the edges of like the character models. So it just doesn't look as crisp as you would like it to. And the color palette looks a little dull, but that's also the feeling of the game too. Like just how like the tone of the game. But if they could just clean that up a little bit, give it the 60 FPS treatment, sell it for $10, I'll get it. One. I mean,
I don't really think Rockstar is going to do that. I mean, this is the company that like released GTA on PS3, then re-released it at full price on PS4, then re-released it at full price on PS5. So,
hey, if they do a remaster for GTA 4 for PS5, I'm buying that full price. They can make that $50 or $60. I'll get it. I mean, that's a fantastic game. I want you to play. I want you to be able to play it, and I'm gonna want to play it because I want to play it on 60 FPS on PS5. I mean, so it's those are already bought games. Does that make me a bad consumer? Fuck it, maybe, but these are great games. I don't mind buying.
I mean, it's your money.
Yeah, my money, but
to spend it. Yeah.
But I just love these games. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm willing to pay, triple, maybe not triple the price, but I'm willing to pay a good bit to get these games again upscaled for modern consoles. So I'm fine with it. But anyway, so if we can get a 60 FPS patch for that, and then I think we'll be good to go, man. One game, just to move on a little bit. One game I wanted to go back to before Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comes out. I wanted to play through Final Fantasy VII Remake again one more time before Rebirth.
That's probably a good idea.
But I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's just too much going on, too many games that I'm trying to finish up. I mean, like I said, I'm trying to do 16 right now. play through that, do my DLC, God of War, trying to do that DLC. It's just for me, it's going to be difficult. But I mean, I would like to.
Well, I mean, you got 2 months, dude, and there's not too much coming out that we're interested in next January. What that game was it? Alone in the Dark has been moved to March.
Got pushed back. Yeah. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, sure.
To be honest with
you,
actually,
it's kind of better for me.
Yeah. I was looking forward to it, and I think that's the one game that my wife wants to watch me play a little bit. Because she loves David Harbour. He's one of the main characters she plays in the game. He's from Stranger Things. I don't know if you've checked that out any, but
I haven't. Yeah, I seen like episodes.
He plays one of the main characters, and by the way, you need to watch Stranger Things. That's a good show. But he plays one of the main characters, and I like the actor too, so she wants to see how that plays out in game. So we're excited for that. But there was something else that happened in gaming this week. Oh, dude, let me ask you this:
Is it
The Last of Us
multiplayer?
The Last of Us factions is completely gone. What do you think about that?
You know what? I wish I was prepared. I wish I had one of those, party whistles. So when you said it's gone, I go like, ah. But I mean, I think like we all kind of knew this deep down. Like we were getting no updates on that. Yeah. We were getting just some like reports, like some leaks about it not going very well. Like every single bit of information, which we got very little, every bit of information we got was like negative and discouraging. I'm kind of just waiting for this to happen.
Yeah.
It's like removing a Band-Aid, just do it.
I think it failed. I think it's a couple reasons why it failed. All right, so I'm going to say something. It might sound controversial here, but listen, I might have played like 2 matches of factions. I might have done that like twice the entire time the game is on. And I actually I saw this on Twitter, and I don't know how accurate this is. So if, by all means, if you know more about it, that's fine. But apparently it's a very small percentage of people that have even played factions. There's a community out there, but a lot of people have just played. A lot of people that just play the story and the DLC Left Behind, and then they've moved on. There's a smaller percentage of people. There's still people playing that shit, by the way. But there's a small group of people that were really into it. And no wrong. Listen, from what I can tell, it was a very diverse multiplayer. Like for something being tagged onto a single player game with that much narrative, it was a great multiplayer. Hell, I'm gonna tell you right now, the multiplayer in Last of Us, the original, I think is better than the Uncharted multiplayers by a landslide.
I agree.
I love the interaction between players. I like the gameplay. I like a lot of things about it, but I just don't think there's enough audience for it, man. I don't think there's a lot of people that play it. And I also think trying to make it its own standalone thing, while I was like interested, like, okay, you got a new group of characters, they got their own narratives. I thought it was a bit too, I don't want to say the word ambitious, but I thought it was trying to do a little too much. Like for me personally, like I know Naughty Dog is really big on narratives, and I don't know if I can really enjoy a narrative when I'm playing this might sound ignorant. I know there's games out there that you can play, like Borderlands, right? Me and you could get on the PS5 right now and play through Borderlands, play through the story, and play co-op together and enjoy the story. But there's not too many games out there where I can play a co-op game and enjoy the characters that I'm playing as and playing around when I'm playing cooperatively, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, from what I understood, the reason why it's standalone and why it's so ambitious is because, this is just what I've been hearing. Sony is looking for for their big multiplayer game, right? Like this live service game. We've been getting a lot of those lately. Most of them kind of failed. But I think that's like it's a big hook now because you got if they succeed, right? If they're successful live service games, they get like a shit ton of money out of those. So it kind of makes sense. And honestly, I was kind of excited about it. I think it could have been good because, as you said, like the a bunch of PlayStation 3 games back in the days, right? Back in the Last of Us era, in the year that The Last of Us came out, just had it stacked on multiplayer, right? Even in games that it really didn't make sense to, like BioShock had multiplayer. Do you remember that? Fucking BioShock had multiplayer.
Yeah.
What else? The Batman games had multiplayer.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed.
Dude, oh my god, that shit was trash.
Like, oh my god. like I think this like
Yeah.
it's just like it's become like today it's like an anomaly, like an artifact of like times past. So yeah, and even more rare is that multiplayer mode to be good. And in The Last of Us, it really was. Like I might be speaking because I have like Stockholm syndrome, because to get a platinum on the game, you gotta play a shit ton of the multiplayer. You gotta go through like over 100 matches, and and actually put an effort into those matches, right? So, but I did, it is enjoyable, and it is something different, as you said. I feel like the Last of Us mechanics from the campaign kind of work, right? You have to manage resources.
Yeah.
You can't just rush in, go gung ho. You gotta, manage your bullets. You gotta be stealthy. You gotta be crafty. The way you lure enemies out, the way you keep you together with your team. It's really fun. So I thought they were gonna do. I thought back when they announced it, I thought, oh, cool, this makes sense. Like it's a natural progression. Because it was like Last of Us 2 already came out in an era where like tacked on multiplayer modes are not as common anymore, thank God. So I'm kind of happy with it being a standalone thing if it happens. Just something I could just pop in, and if it plays nice, if it's fun, I mean, even have like a substitute for Fortnite. I was kind of hoping this would be it. It would break the curse of making me play Fortnite. I have like another accessible multiplayer game for me.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, I agree, man. I wish, like, honestly, that's a good point, because I won't think about that. Like, if it was super accessible and it was a game that you could cut, like, we were talking about this through Messenger, just to indulge some of you guys. We were talking about me and Jan were like sharing, you could do your PlayStation, back, like pretty much the games you've played throughout the year, how many hours you put into games, things like that. We were kind of exchanging that kind of stuff. And one of my most played games of the year was UFC, like the fighting game. I love the UFC. I love mixed martial arts, and it's a game that I just kick back and play. Like this morning, I played it. When I woke up, I drank a cup of coffee and I was playing some matches of it, because it's just a game where I could turn my brain off. Not really turn my brain off, because that game is hard. When you're playing against people who know what they're doing, holy shit, that game is so damn hard. So it's almost like a chess match, And I think that's why I've always come back to it. But I'm like you in a way. Like for me, like as much as I love UFC 5, I really enjoy the game. I think if Factions could have really succeeded, that would have been a nice game to be able to drink my coffee in the morning and play, a few matches of that. I think that would have been a good time. And it is a shame that it's not going to be here anymore. However, I'm not super sad about it either, because it's one of those things. Listen, I'm ready to see what Naughty Dog has cooking. Naughty Dog has kind of been tricky the past few years. I don't want to say they're trash, because they're not. I don't want to sit here and say they've lost their shit. But listen, they
one controversial game.
What was that? What was that?
I mean, they released one controversial game, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty controversial. I mean, it's not like the story is like absolutely terrible or anything, but I understand
why divisive.
It was very divisive, divisive. Yeah. And I think their decisions over the past few years have been kind of skeptical too. I mean, especially re-releasing. I'm fine with it, but the remake of Last of Us Part 1, I know me and you, we love it because that gives us an opportunity to go back and play this game that we love. So we're not going to bitch about it. We'll happily pay the money. But to a lot of people, that was a real problem. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, we don't want to pay that much money. But I see what they were doing. They want a PS5 modern era Last of Us 2. So you have that. Now the Last of Us Part 2 remastered is coming out next month. So it's a good little package, right? You have Last of Us Part 1 remade, and then you got the Last of Us Part 2 remastered. So visually, it's on the same level. So it's not going to be as jarring going from Last of Us Part 1 to Last of Us Part 2. I see what they were doing. Like, think about it. If people, I don't know what rock you're living under, but let's say if people were just starting to play games for the first time and they never played The Last of Us. Well, now you have a PS5 version of both games, upscaled with modern tech. I get it. For those people, I understand. But I also get it too. If you're like us, like I've beaten The Last of Us Part 2 twice. I've beaten Last of Us Part 1, oh my God, like 6 or 7 times. Something like that. Like it's crazy amount of times. And I know people who have played it way more than me, but that's a lot. To replay a game 6 or 7 times, you got to love a game. So for people like us, is it kind of irrelevant? Maybe, but I think it's because we love the game. I'm willing, like I don't know, you guys don't know this. I told Jan, I already own The Last of Us Part 2. I have already bought the $100 deluxe edition. Because I said, fuck it, I want it. I want the Steelbook. And listen, I like the game enough that I'm willing to spend it. I think the gameplay is tight. I love the visuals. Golly, man, this game doesn't need a remaster. Honestly, the way it looks, I was talking to you before about Red Dead 2 kind of has that like fuzzier kind of look that looks a little out of focus. Damn, this game is still crispy as hell on PS5. So,
and because they updated it, they made like a current gen update.
Yeah. So it's super crisp. So does it really need it? No, not really. But man, at the same time, man, I'm honestly looking forward to getting back into it, man. I'm looking forward to getting to it, getting the game, playing through it again.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't understand. I don't think I haven't followed this as much. I don't think that there is much uproar because of the Part 2 remaster, and if there is, it doesn't really make sense. Because we've seen this be done with a lot of like late PS4 cycle games, right? Ghost of Tsushima, what else? Death Stranding, and a bunch of other ones. The only difference is that with those games, they got the director's cut undertitle, which kind of made it more like, okay, it's not a remaster. It's kind of they're giving an excuse to re-release it, right? Adding new content, which is what they're doing with Part 2 too. Like it's got a lot of stuff the original game doesn't have, right? It's got the whole roguelike mode, which you can't wait to play. It's got lost levels, whatever that is, and like some accessibility shit. So, so what this is really is Last of Us Part 2 Director's Cut. Now, as to why it's called remaster, not the Director's Cut, that beats me. I know it's going to be an eyesore on my shelf for sure. I'm going to hate that remaster. I was going to wish I don't know if I can Photoshop out of the box somehow. But, I don't think we're gonna bitch about it a lot.
Maybe where you're at, you're not hearing as much. Over here in the States, I'm hearing about it bad. Like I'm just saying, like, oh, Naughty Dog is being dethroned. The company's going is in shambles. They're not a company of innovation anymore. They're just remaking the same shit they've done. Like I'm hearing every criticism. And do I agree with some of it? Sure, a little bit, but I don't think like it's not the end of the company. You know what I'm saying? Like Naughty Dog is still one of the higher ups of the developing world out there. Like it's not even a question. They're going to come back. Whatever they got cooking, it'll be quality. You might not like the game. I'm not going to sit here. You're going to like the game, but it's going to be quality, man. You already know this is what they do.
Yeah, Rockstar survived. Not releasing a new game in like what, a decade. So not a decade, but like almost.
Yeah, I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 came out in 2018. The last GTA 5 game came out in 2013. So as far as GTA games, like 11 years.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. And and I'm not gonna say like Naughty Dog is on par with Rockstar, right? At least not yet. But I think they'll survive. I think, but I do think they deserve a spot, right?
Sure. And like I told you, I mean, and this is obviously, listen, it's all opinion. Like whether you like my opinion or not, but I've surprised people by what I say, but it's just because this is just how I feel. I have never felt more connected to a story because you just talking about Rockstar and Naughty Dog got me thinking. I've never been more connected to a story and characters than I ever did between for Red Dead 2. I think Red Dead 2, I'm telling you, man, I really hope you can play that this year. I would love to talk about it, cover it here. It's as much as I love The Last of Us, as much as I love that game more than anything in this world. And, one day I want to be a dad. So everything that Joel does for Ellie in that game and the ending of that, saving her from the Fireflies, all that stuff really speaks to me. But that journey that you go on in Red Dead 2, I remember when I finished that game, I was like, there's only two games that have ever left me speechless, and that's The Last of Us Part 1 and Red Dead 2. Like when I finished Red Dead 2, like I was like, this is it. This is literally the great. Like this is what I'm thinking. And obviously, it might sound as ignorant as it may sound. I'm like, this is the greatest game I've ever played. And it's not because the systems are new. It's not because it does anything crazy different. It's just the narrative that it's telling and the characters and the world. And again, this is like I was telling you through Messenger, man. This is when I play games like this, I'm reminded, okay, this is why I play video games. This is why I take the time out of my busy schedule, which gets busier by the day, to play video games. And it's such a great medium. And like one thing that Jeff Keighley says at the Game Awards, that guy is so corny, but he talks about how video games is a medium. You know, it's still not quite respected, but it's starting to get to that point. It's starting to get to that point that it is starting to get looked at as, wow, this medium is bringing some narratives that are unmatched, that you don't see at the theater, or you don't see on HBO Max.
They're only possible in their own format.
Yeah. And so yeah, man, some of the best voice acting is in these two games, Last of Us and Red Dead 2. The character moments, the world of both of these games, even though Last of Us is more of a linear adventure, Red Dead 2 is a big open world. These worlds just feel alive. Red Dead 2 feels like such a, when I go through the town of Valentine, you guys will know what I'm talking about if you've played the game. When I'm riding my horse and I'm going through this town of Valentine and I'm seeing people go to work, I'm seeing people talk amongst each other, I'm seeing people at the bar having a drink, talking to the girls, you know, hanging out, you know, probably up to no good, but talking to the girls, you know, and I don't know, man, like I get like chills down my spine thinking about it. Just this is why I play games. If we get to a point where this is not the standard for games, whether it be Red Dead 2 or a Last of Us, that feeling of like you care so much for these characters, they feel so real. If we ever get to that point where we're not there, I don't know, man. I might not ever play video games, like modern video games, anymore.
Yeah, no,
because I remember that feeling. Like I'm playing GTA 4, and that's an older game, and what Nico Bellic has to go through in that game. And no wrong, there's some goofy moments in that game. And Nico is kind of funny in of itself just because of his accent and everything else. But just seeing that, man, I know I'm kind of rambling here and going on, but it's like, this is why I play games. It's just moments like these that it's like, okay, I wish we got more of these. It's like our last conversation or our last show. I just feel like we don't get as many mature stories as much as we used to. I feel like there's a lot of like, you know, 2D fighting scrollers, which is fine. They have a place to be in gaming. I'm not saying they don't belong, but I feel like every studio, like if you watch the Game Awards, brother, I don't know if you've seen any of the ads for that, any of the trailers for that. Every game, I shit you not, maybe you didn't feel this way. I'm not saying every game looked the same, but I was kind of getting like to the point where it's like, damn, I feel like I've seen this game 15 times already. Like the very like cartoony kind of style, 2D. I'm not saying I won't ever play it. I'm just, I don't know, man. It's like, I don't know.
Well, it could be like, yeah, A, that. B, I mean, I think we got to a point where like games are not, they're not made like graphic advances. They're happening too often. We're at a standstill in a way when it comes to visuals in games. So it might make sense, right? Some visual styles might start to stagnate, right? And many games start to blend in. Because honestly, I don't feel as much what you feel, probably because if I'm not interested in a game, I don't really register it, right? If it has nothing of note, I have nothing to remember, right? But yeah, that's all I gotta say, really. And about what you said before, yeah, sure. If games ever stop doing whatever is making us like them, then of course we'll just latch on to something else. After all, when it comes to me, I mean, it's my passion for stories mostly out of everything else that makes me like games as much. As much as I like games, just as games, it's this fusion between narrative and play that really entranced me and made me a fucking nerd, video game fan.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, and like I agree with you. Like as far as visually speaking, when it comes to like realistic visuals, yeah, I think at this point, I'm not saying we can't get much better, but I feel like we've kind of peaked at that. Like I'm sure there's always like finer details you can always get down to the T, but at that point, right? I wouldn't want it to look but so realistic to the point where I feel like I'm playing like real life, but at the same time, like I don't expect like a super visual upgrade. Like everything, like if visuals looked as good as the Last of Us remake for the rest of time, I'm fine with it. Or as good as Red Dead 2, I'm fine with it. Like it does not have to be any better than that. I just feel like there's so few and far between, and that's one reason why, even though I didn't finish Alan Wake 2, I really loved that about Alan Wake 2. That it just the way visually it looked, it did feel like a darker game. Besides the musical numbers, which by the way, I cannot get that song out of my freaking head, man. It lives rent free, and it's like, yeah, dude, it's awesome. I've even showed my sister that. My sister don't know what the fuck is going on, and she's like, that was actually pretty cool. That's a good song. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, it's stuck in my freaking head. I can't get it out of there. But I don't know, man. You know, I know sometimes my takes, because you've told me, you know, throughout since we've started this, you've told me my takes on games can be a bit, you know, I can be a bit harsh, but I think it's just because we've seen so much media. I think it's just at that point, it's like I expect, and I go, we don't have to get in because we've talked about this, but like I take God of War Ragnarok for example. I think God of War Ragnarok as a game is a fantastic game. Like it for like visually, combat, exploration, I think it does a good job at that. But where it falters for me is I felt like they were hyping up. I feel like they were hyping up Ragnarok, and I didn't feel like it was really. I didn't feel like the stakes were as high as I wish they were. You know, we talked about at the beginning of the show. We were talking about God of War. Listen, I'm not as like nuanced in the story as some people are, but I have seen the set pieces. I have seen the stakes that Kratos has dealt with in those games. And I understand this is an older Kratos. He's been there. He's done that. But I don't know. Like, I felt like this just was kind of underwhelming compared to what Kratos has gone through before. And I felt like with Atreus having more of a deeper connection with this Norse world, you know, and that's a huge driving factor in the story. I was just expecting it to be a bit more climatic, I guess. And it just didn't feel that way to me personally. You know, like even the last Zeus, sorry. See, I'm so stuck in the original trilogy and DLC. Even with the last Odin fight, I wish Odin had a final form. I wish Odin had like a bit more of a presence.
Transform into a huge monster.
Yeah, I know that's a little campy, right? But if he just looked a little bit more fierce, you know what I mean? Odin is supposed to be like a freaking power, and he was powerful, but I feel like I was just beating up an old guy at the end of the day. It's not like he didn't really look like Zeus looked like a freaking nature. Like that guy was old, but he was freaking muscled up as hell.
Yeah.
You know,
the old games were more about scale, right? They were huge jaw-dropping fight scenes, right?
Yeah.
And newer games just aren't about that, I guess. Which is a shame because, like, you know, I think that they could have done it, at least for Odin, right? And just concentrate the budget on this one boss that looks like batshit insane. The only problem would be, you know, make it work with the combat system that's in the new God of War games. Like, I don't think that system is really suited for huge bosses.
That's right. No, I agree with you. I agree there, but I do wish it had a bit more stakes. But that's pretty much. I was just using that for an example. But anyway, we don't have to keep being on that subject. But for the last 20 or so minutes, I know we're going. You know, I know we're kind of going on a little bit longer than what we usually do. But last 20 or so minutes, you don't have to be 20 minutes, but just to end it here, this is the last show of the new year. By the way, if you had anything else to add to that, we can. I'll let you take the floor on that. But for the last 20 minutes or so, I just really I want your opinion. Tell the people, you know, what are some highlights, if you don't mind, you know, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot. If you can't think of any, but what are some highlights of your own personal life? Like what's some things you don't want to, that you don't mind indulging, some things that you've accomplished that you're really proud of. And what are some things that you're proud of with the Deadhead podcast, man? We were 2 years in this thing. We're 39 episodes in.
Time just flew.
We got 260 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys checking out the show, especially after I have it uploaded on the channel. I really appreciate it. So yeah, I mean, what are some things you're proud of personally, and then what are some things you're happy about on the show, like the way we've done this year?
So let's see. Positive. Let's think positive. Well, no. Excuse me. So I don't know how much I talk on the podcast about this. Dylan knows a little bit about this, but I went through kind of a rough patch around May. I think it didn't really hijack, but it really affect my presence on the show a little bit, from what I remember. But I don't want to bore you guys with the details, but pretty much I was just in a kind of a bad place, right? And I feel like I came out of it better than I was before, right? Because now I kind of, I want to see someone, to talk about this. I talked about it with a lot of my friends and my parents, and I feel like now I'm better equipped for whenever it might happen again, right? Because when it comes to these anxiety attacks or depression moments, depression periods, it's well, at least in my experience, the scariest part about them is it's kind of the weight, right? Because you get paranoid at some point. You feel like when you don't know exactly what the trigger is, you feel like you are at the brink of a collapse every moment, right? Every second. So I felt like kind of what I developed, the philosophy that I developed, that it's better to be better equipped for it, right? Rather than fearing it, rather than trying to avoid it at all costs. Just be ready for it, right? Which, I'm not going to say, tough it up. What I'm saying is that, remember how you got through it the first time, and remember where you can get help, right? Because you cannot do this alone. No, it's can't. Mm-hmm. So I feel like, kind of like, what was this is a huge tangent, but life is strange before the storm. Like the platinum trophy name, something like the storm doesn't scare me or bring on the storm. And that's because the philosophy I'm trying to put in a little bit in my life. So there's that. So that's the big one. Also,
Amen. Amen.
I made some friends. This year. I feel like during my whole university career, I made really good friends. I mostly reinforced some past bonds into real friendships, but I didn't really meet new people. This year I kind of changed that. A shit ton of people. Well, not a shit ton. Well, like 2 or 3, which is a lot for me.
Yeah, right.
I actually bonded with them, right? We actually became friends. I met more people than that. So I'm really super happy about that. Made long-lasting friends. I'm sure I won't forget them easily. And I think, what they say, I don't know if they say this, but it's something I think. Right. Like meeting new people, right? Just making new experiences, getting new points of view, and all that really makes you grow as a person. So I'm kind of going for that. Right. What else? I got into Resident Evil. Man, I wanted to get to Resident Evil in forever, and I finally did it this year. I finally fucking did it. I haven't played through all of it. Yeah. But I'm missing 7 and 8, and Revelations 2. I know. And a bunch of other spin-offs.
Yeah.
But I got through a shit ton of them, dude. What is it? 1, 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Code Veronica. Yeah, I think that's it. Revelations.
Yeah, I think Revelations was the last one. Yeah.
So that, and what else? Of course, us getting to the triple digits on the podcast, dude. For once, when my parents said, "How's the podcast thing going?" I was like, "We hit 100 subscribers, Mom. I did it. We did it." It's kind of unreal almost to say that, right? Because this has always been fun, right? I've never doubted this project, but seeing it actually kind of get somewhere, it's it's very gratifying, and that is even more gratifying for you, being the founder and all, being kind of the muscle between the two of us. So that, what, I'm coming out of it with a very positive outlook. A lot of shitty things happen in the world, but when it comes to my personal world, the one that's going to disappear as soon as I die, that one is going fine right now. Thank you. So I'm passing. I'm passing the floor to you.
Right. Yeah. No, those are all great things, man. And by the way, I'm proud of I'm proud of everything you've accomplished. I was, obviously I was in talks with you pretty extensively during that March window. I know things were tough for you. I tried to be there for you the best way I could. I know I'm not physically able to be there for you. But I try to lend an open ear to you, man, because it's one of those things like, and what I try to tell the people out there, I say this more, I love doing this show with you. Like I said, I tell you all the time, I love having you a part of this, but I think in part of that, I want to be able to have a personal relationship with you as well. As far as, being able for you to be able to feel like you can talk to me about things just like as if I was next door to you, or I was your roommate or whatever, or if I was your brother or whatever. So, I'm glad honestly, one of the things that I'm proud of personally is I feel like as far as our friendship, I feel like we became closer in that. I feel like we talk all the time. I feel like through messages,
much more often.
Yeah. And that's good. And I really like that. And that's something I'm really proud of. But as far as my personal life, I've had a lot of trials and tribulations. Like I was talking about beginning of the show with the $2,000 I have to do to fix my car. I think what I've learned is patience, man. I haven't had a lot of patience throughout the years. Getting to, I'm 27. It took a long time to have patience, and I'm still struggle with it. But I feel like I'm finally coming out on top to the point where I can handle it. I feel like I'm trying to make more decisions, like we said before, more on a mental state, more of stability, as opposed to using my emotions and making emotional decisions, because I think we all get quick to that when we're in distress. So I'm very proud of myself there. A lot of moving pieces at my job. The channel has, like you had mentioned, has grown substantially. We're at 260 subscribers, excuse me. I can't be more thankful enough for that. It's been one hell of a year for the Deadhead 96 YouTube channel and the Deadhead podcast. I really appreciate all that. I would say really, as far as the show goes, I'm just proud that we've made it to 39 episodes, man. It's a big triumph to get to this point. There's a lot of people that fail. A lot of people start podcasts and they quit. They quit before it gets good. They quit because, oh man, I don't get as many views as I like, or, oh man, like we do a live show, but I don't expect really people to come comment on our show when we do it live. I make it live so people can come on and talk to us. But if they don't, that's fine. People come by and check it out later. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on our YouTube channel. We're on Twitch. A Facebook fan page. You have plenty of options to watch the Deadhead podcast. So whether you talk to us live or talk to us later, which a lot of our views are later, that's no problem with me. No problem at all. It's been great feedback with this show, and I'm super, super proud of what we've done when it comes to I work really hard on the videos, the content I bring on the channel. I actually got a couple video ideas I want to try to get done before Christmas, upload to the channel. And we're making some great moves over here. I was talking to Jan. I'm letting you guys know about it. We have a couple guests lined up for the first of the year. I know we'll have one in February. His name is the Arcane Pain. He is a Twitch streamer. And he actually, I think right now he's streaming Final Fantasy 16 because he started a little late on that. So he's playing that through right now. And I'm also working on another guy. I don't think I've showed him to you yet, Jan, but it's another guy. He showed a lot of support for the Deadhead channel, Deadhead 96 channel. Yeah, he showed a lot of support. He's commented on a lot of the videos. He's definitely he's been checking out the episodes, and he's been showing a lot of support for us. He's I think his name is C Sprouse on YouTube. He's got 5,000 subscribers on his channel, and so he's a content creator as well. So he's really liking what we're doing over here. So I reached out to him. I said, man, I think we'd like to have you on the show, and he was all for it. So we got a couple guys lined up, and and of course we got recurring guests. But really, if any of our recurring guests that have come on the show, thank you guys, Lyra, Emma, Dizfuzz, Brandon, Emmett, and I might be missing one or two. I appreciate all you guys for taking the time to come on the Deadhead podcast, because I know we're a small show, and the fact you give us time to come on and talk to us, I really do appreciate it. So I know that was long-winded, but I'm really proud of the people. And like you said, meeting new people. I've met so many cool people since we've started this whole thing. I've met really good friends. Not really good friends, but more friends just doing this than I ever have really since college. It's being able to talk to people. So it's been really great. And, I guess, not to the point where I'm over here emotionally in tears, but I feel very happy that we're at this point. So, I couldn't do it without Jan, and I couldn't do it without the people that come and check out the show. So I appreciate all you guys.
That was really nice.
Yeah. So,
sounds like we're ending up the year on a good, on a good note.
Yeah. I'm kind of sad, man. I'm kind of sad. This is the last time we do this until, I think we're looking, me and Jan, if we're going to be in conversations, probably about mid-January, mid to late January.
Yep.
I think that's fine. I think that's good. I think we all need a reset. I think all of us out there who are listening and watching now need a break as well. So I think it'll be good for us to come back, get a little break, enjoy some time, and then get right back to it the start of 2024. So, but yeah, I think that's all the topics that I had off the top of my head. I know we've been going for almost 2 hours. Jan, is there anything else you want to bring up or anything else you want to say to the people before we get on out of here?
There's only one thing, the most important one of all. Happy holidays, people.
I expected a little bit more, but
I feel like I don't know. You're kind of been on my case lately when it comes to these. It started with them being kind of low, low pressure, and now it's kind of building up.
No, it's just like the way you lead up to it. It's like I just got one thing to say, and it's really important.
Because it is important. It is important, dude. It is important. Like spread the cheer. Whatever you are celebrating.
I thought you were gonna say something completely different right there. When you said spread the cheer, I thought you were gonna say spread the cheeks. I don't know why. I thought for a second that's what I thought you were gonna say because you said spread the cheek and you kind of hesitated before you finished. I thought you were gonna say spread the cheek. Like I was
spread
like,
the
what
cheek.
the fuck?
No.
Like what the
I
hell?
wouldn't. I would. I mean, that's not something I think I need to tell our fans, right? I think that they kind of have to set on their own with the spread the cheeks, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I encourage it, but I don't. I don't press them to do it. It's gonna it has to be your own choice. What did Peter say in Into the Spider-Verse? You never know when you're ready. It's a leap of faith. And I'm sorry, I'm like rambling here. But,
yeah, I got you. No, I know, I got you. No, yeah, spread the cheeks if you're taking a shower. Make sure you wash really, really well.
Oh yeah, please.
But
you see, that's a better joke. I could have, let up with that. So,
well, I'm just
teach me a few things,
the way you were about to say it. I thought you were about to say cheek. So, but anyway, but yeah, no, I think that's good. And I think like Jan said, I think earlier he's talking about mental health. Definitely around this time of year. I know it's hard for some people. I made a video about it on the channel. I try to make a video once a year talking about mental health around the holidays. So if you haven't checked that out, but just the gist of that video, don't be afraid to talk to somebody. And it's okay. Understand it's okay to be alone during the holidays. Don't feel like there's got to be pressure to go hang out with family and do, because listen, I've been pressured my whole life. Like you got to go here and you got to do this. No, you don't. You do not. If you don't want to be around your family on the holidays, it's fine. It's not a big deal. So just putting that out there to anybody who feels that way. If you like being family, that's fine. But I just think the people's idea of the holidays, what you should be doing on it, it's however you want to celebrate. Sound more or less right. Anyway. But thank you guys for checking out the last episode of 2023 of the Deadhead Podcast, episode 39. It's sad to say, but I think we're going to take a little break, and we'll be back mid to late January. Me and Jan are going to discuss the details, and we'll let you guys know as soon as we know something. But we'll be excited to come back. It's going to be kind of bittersweet to take a little break for a little while, but we'll be back better than ever. We'll do an episode kind of talking about our holidays, things like that, and then we do have a year full of stuff to do and talk about. I'm sure we'll have some months where it won't be as much going on, but I think we got a pretty heavy docket of things that we'll be discussing and things of that nature. So thank you guys as always. Thank you for coming to Deadhead 96 channel, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to us or watching us. Really appreciate it. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy New Year, and lastly, stay dead, my friends.